All right, so let's talk about the reason that we are headed to Las Vegas this weekend. The ring card headlined by Ryan Garcia against Mario Barrios. And this is a fascinating fight to me. Mario Barrios is the 147-pound champion. Ryan Garcia challenging for a 147-pound belt for the second year in a row, or second fight in a row, I should say. And to me, Sergio, this is all about what version of Ryan Garcia that we get. Are we going to get the version that looked impressive, to say the least, against Devin Haney, who knocked Devin Haney down 3 times and looked like someone that could be a real player in whatever division he was fighting in? Or are we going to get the guy that kind of sleepwalked through that fight against Rolly Romero, who looked like he didn't have anything in the tank in that fight? I think that's the big question. So let me ask that first. Do you have any idea what to expect from Ryan Garcia on Saturday night?
No, because that impressive victory that you're talking about comes with an asterisk. It comes with an asterisk because he failed the PED test. He came in overweight, so we can't give him credit. You just gave Ryan Garcia credit for saying he looked impressive. No, I'm taking that away. He did not look impressive because he did not come in clean. He did not come in on weight, and he did not come in responsible. So he hasn't looked impressive in back-to-back fights. He lost to Rolly Romero, and he lost a PED test. Come on, man. He lost the attention of the fans. So when you ask me what version are we going to get, I'm expecting a confident version because he knows that Ryan Garcia knows that his back's against the wall. At 27 years old, never have won a world championship. He's an uncrowned champion. He's going to be the biggest waste of talent and limelight that I've ever seen if he doesn't win this fight. So because of all this, I think Ryan Garcia understands where he's at. I think the shenanigans are gone. He knows this is his only opportunity to ever win a world championship. I mean, if you remember, Mannix, I said Ryan Garcia will never win a world championship. Well, here it is on a golden platter, with Mario Barrios. After Ryan Garcia coming off of 1-2-1 in his last 4, and Barrios with back-to-back draws and a title shot is presented, that's privilege, my friend. You better take advantage of that privilege if you're Ryan Garcia.
I give this to Ryan Garcia. He acknowledges the privilege. I was in camp with him last week. And look, he said to me, he's like, yeah, should I be getting this world title shot? I don't know, but what do you want me to do about it? I was presented with the opportunity and I jumped on it. It's not my fault. Ask the WBC why they gave him the world title shot. I honestly have no idea what to expect from Ryan. When I was with him last week, it seems like he's got his stuff together, right? Like he seems to be in a much better place mentally than he was over the last year and a half, 2 years. Health-wise, he's talked about treating his body more like a temple, not putting drugs and alcohol into it, going through the things you need to go through to be a great fighter, the physical therapy, the recovery, all the things that he should have been doing earlier in his career. But we got to see it, right? It's one thing to pay lip service to this style of that you're this kind of changed man. It's another thing to actually do it. And look, he looked awful against Rolly Romero. Couldn't pull the trigger. Couldn't let his hands go. Respect to Rolly. I thought Rolly had a pretty good game plan coming in. He had the left hand up, or was it the right hand up, to protect against the left hook the entire fight, which was smart. And he landed the more power shots, getting the knockdown on Ryan in the second round. But that was just as much about Ryan Garcia as it was Rolly Romero. He couldn't pull the trigger in that fight. Is he going to be able to do it against Mario Barrios? That's a huge question. One of the things that Ryan did too, which is right in your wheelhouse, is he made another trainer change. He went back to his father, Henry Garcia. Now, Henry has been in Ryan's corner for the entirety of his boxing life. He was his trainer during the amateur days. He trained him for the first 15, 16 pro fights of his career, handed him off to Eddie Reynoso, passed him off to Derek James and Joe Goosen, but he was always there. He was always in the corner, so it's not like he's coming from the outside. But now here he is as the head trainer in the biggest fight of Ryan Garcia's career. What do you think of that?
I think the Bible says it. The prodigal son returns. That's what Ryan Garcia is. And he's going back to his dad, the man that got him through the amateurs and the man that got him to 15-0 as a professional. So there's comfort there. And ultimately, like I said, his back's against the wall, and probably the only man that still has any kind of confidence in his ability and in his career is his father. because his father's never going to leave his son, no matter what crazy stuff he's done in the past or what crazy stuff he's going to do in the future. That man's always going to be in his corner. So I think not only have people given up on Ryan Garcia, not only do people not believe Ryan Garcia, I think his dad has seen him go through the ups and downs, and that's the only man that can get Ryan Garcia out of that darkness, because it's a familiar voice, familiar face, and a man that's never going to leave your corner. In a world where everyone leaves athletes, especially boxers, once they lose, that man's never left because that's his father, that's blood. So for this fight, initially, I thought it was going to be just because of money. Ryan Garcia wanted to save money, put that money into his family, into his father's pocket. It's not that anymore. Now, I've been seeing the interviews that Ryan's been giving. I see the look in his face. I see the things that are coming. Before, I didn't believe him because I've heard this song before. But now I could see it. He's nervous. Ryan Garcia is nervous about his future, and he knows it's do or die this time around.
He definitely knows it's do or die. And that's something he said to me repeatedly last week, that maybe it's not win or go home, but this is another great opportunity to win a world title.
No, it's not win or go home. It's win or you get foreclosed on. People aren't going to buy your stuff anymore. People aren't going to want to hear your name. You're not going to get this opportunity as a main event anymore. You're not going to get the big fights. You're not going to get the big paydays that he's accustomed to getting. This is it. He does not win this fight. Ryan Garcia.
I'm not sure where he goes
done.
after. Dunn is strong. He's 27 years old.
27 years old, and he'll be finished, Mannix.
He's not going to be finished. But maybe this puts him on a different path. Maybe he is fighting in the Misfits boxing circuit or something to that effect.
Celebrity boxer, I can get that. Okay, he can make money off of celebrity boxing. He is done in high stakes, real professional boxing. That's what I mean. Yeah. I don't think we'll see him on the biggest stages in our field anymore.
The Henry Garcia thing is interesting. I like Henry a lot. And you got to give Henry credit for helping develop his son from 7, 8 years old into a top prospect, into a contender. But it's as much pressure on him going to this fight as there is Ryan. Like, he is taking over at a pivotal moment in Ryan Garcia's career. Like, he's got to have a good game plan to beat a fighter like Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios, and we'll get to this in a moment, Mario Barrios, I wouldn't call him an A-level guy, but he's a good, solid B-level guy. He has fought some of the better fighters in the weight classes that he has fought in. He has been competitive with a lot of those fighters. Didn't win most of those fights, Gervonta Davis, Keith Thurman, among others, but he does have some quality wins on his resume. Yordenis Ugas was a great win for Mario Barrios at the time. And he's a good fighter. You can't just go in there thinking you're going to blitz Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios has a great jab. He's got a good straight right hand. You've got to have a good game plan. I'm curious to see what game plan Henry Garcia comes up with in this fight, and how collaborative have they been going into this? I mean, the knock on Ryan over the years has been he kind of trains himself, and you collaborate with Ryan Garcia. This is a fight where you got to have a smart game plan to beat a guy like Barrios. And by the way, you're doing it going up against a coach that knows you as well as any coach in the game. Joe Goosen in the corner of Barrios. And I know that Goosen and Barrios have both downplayed his presence and downplayed the fact that he's training him for a Ryan Garcia fight. But Sergio, you tell me if I'm wrong. You can't tell me that Joe Goosen doesn't know some things. Joe Goosen knows how Ryan fights, knows his strengths, knows his weaknesses, and 100% is training Mario Barrios to take advantage of those weaknesses.
Joe Goosen knows this stuff. Eddie Reynoso knows this stuff. Derek James knows this stuff. These are all voices that Ryan Garcia had and didn't listen to. So what good is a trainer with a wealth of knowledge if you're not going to be taking that knowledge and putting it to use?
I think he has taken that knowledge.
No, he hasn't.
Sure he has. I think
like what? Has he moved his feet more? Has he used more upper body movement? Has he been smarter defensively? Has he bent his knees? What has he done differently? It's still that one punch. It's still that quick jab to bait fighters in, and then he checks you with that left hook. I haven't seen the right hand be developed. Ryan Garcia doesn't have the right hand. Ryan Garcia reminds me of his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, the great Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya pretty much was a one-handed fighter. He was a jab, a 45-degree punch.
Probably a better jab than Ryan back in the day.
Great. That jab, 45-degree punch, left hook. but he has zero right hand. He would throw away that right hand just to check you with that left hook. That's exactly what Ryan Garcia is, only Ryan Garcia hasn't proved to be great like Oscar. Oscar was great in the amateurs from the gold medal, all the way as a multi-division world champion in many weight divisions. Ryan Garcia can't even conquer one division. So that is not going to be enough. That one arm of his, that left hand, is not going to be enough. If he doesn't come out throwing that right hand, with some kind of emphasis, if I don't see him bend his knees, making himself smaller, if I don't see perpetual upper body movement, if I don't see him feinting and throwing more than just one jab to set up that hook, then we got the same one-trick pony. We got the same one-trick pony that's never going to become a thoroughbred in boxing.
Do you think it's an advantage, though, for Joe Goosen to be in the corner of Mario Barrios?
A psychological advantage, and maybe it can work with a fighter that's had his psychological issues in Ryan Garcia. But for this fight, since his back is against the wall, I think Ryan Garcia is going to use this as fuel. I think he's going to use this as fuel. And not only is he going to be facing Mario Barrios, but he's facing Joe Goosen and he's facing all his critics and haters. This is it for him. And a lot of fighters, including myself, anyone that's ever lost a world title or lost on the big stage and has this bitter taste in their mouth to just shut every damn critic, you're doing it for everybody, and then it's kind of like me against the world. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling when you can actually shut people up. And Ryan Garcia has the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, big opportunity. But he's doing it against a guy that's, again, pretty good. Mario Barrios is a good fighter. And throughout this entire promotion, it feels like Barrios has been kind of an afterthought. Like, this is the Ryan Garcia show. This is Ryan's chance at redemption. This is Ryan's second opportunity to win a world title. You are a fellow Mexican-American like Mario Barrios. Do you think that Barrios is being underestimated going into this fight?
Yeah, and he should be underestimated because he was elevated as a champion. He's coming off back-to-back draws. He's lost on the biggest stage. He got knocked out by Tank. I mean, what can you say? He's a B- fighter, and he's a B- champion. No hate against Mario Barrios. He's been around a long time. An excellent weathered champion. I respect Mario Barrios, but come on, man. When you get elevated as a champion, then you're a titleist. You need to beat a champion to become a champion, all right? So Mario Barrios has a lot to prove to me still. And if Mario Barrios has any kind of pride, he realizes that he's up against a prima donna that's going to be the A side. That's a slap in the face of a quote-unquote champion. Mario Barrios needs to prove to himself and his fans as well. Both these fighters need to prove a lot to the promoter and to their fans to prove that they belong on the A side. They belong this big payday. They deserve everything that's going to be given to them if they win this fight. So both of them have a lot to prove. And Mario Barrios, yes, he's being disrespected, but I would be taking that as fuel as well.
I'm interested to see what changes Joe Goosen tries to make in Barrios. From what I've been hearing, the focus has been making Barrios more offensive oriented. Barrios has had,
of course, that's Joe Cousin's strategy for every damn fight.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, Barrios, when he was working with Bob Santos, great jab, fought behind the jab, and for the most part was defensively responsible. That was sort of his MO under Santos. Is he going to open up more against Ryan Garcia? And if he does, like, this could be a really interesting fight. Like, Barrios, that jab is good. It's really good. That right hand is really good. We saw him knock down Abel Ramos 2 fights ago with that right hand. He can hurt you with that right hand. But the speed factor is huge in this fight. Like, Ryan is still ultra quick. And Barrios, he doesn't throw. He throws with some pop, but it's not fast. And we've seen Ryan, granted, against lesser opponents, time some of these guys. And when he times them right and can land that left hook, the results are just devastating, Matt. I'm very curious to see if we see a more offensive-oriented version of Barrios. You don't think so?
No, we don't, because if I see Mario Barrios be over-aggressive, he's going to get knocked out. It's going to be like Oscar Duarte when he fought Garcia. Over-aggressive. He's in the fight. He was landing some shots. He was actually taking it to Garcia, but then he got clipped. It was a quick little shot. I think it was a left hook, or it must have been a 45-degree punch. But he got clipped, and his legs went, and the fight was gone in the blink of an eye. That's how I see this fight going against Mario Barrios. If Barrios comes out guns blazing, which I think he doesn't.
So how do you think he's going to fight?
I think he's good.
How would you fight Ryan Garcia?
Okay, well, the way I would fight him, Barrios doesn't have it in his...
All right, then if you were training Mario Barrios.
Okay, then if I was training Mario Barrios, I would make Ryan Garcia come to me. I will be throwing a lot of jabs to the body. I will trying to bend Ryan Garcia in half. Even though Mario Barrios is a tall fighter at 6 foot, which is going to be a rarity because Ryan Garcia is a tall fighter at almost 5'11". So he's going to be taller. He's going to
see
be
Barrios kind of like had those big shoes on at the press conference. He was like towering over Ryan. Like, wow, Barrios is pretty tall. The Ryan was quick to say, like, look at his shoes. He had some of those boots on.
I never look at a man's shoes, man. Sorry.
Well, I'm just saying the height.
No, he's a tall fighter. I've sized him up in person. I mean, Mario Barrios is a tall, big, strong fighter. Big old head too, man. But that makes a big target. So if I don't see him bending down in half, I don't see him using his jab, I don't see him being on the back foot, I don't see upper body movement, Mario Barrios is going to get caught in exchanges and probably stopped. But if he can come in with a game plan, make this fight on his terms, not exchange with Garcia, and that lead hand, that jab's going to be the main weapon. And of course, stay on the phone the entire time. You mentioned it against Ryan Garcia. You got to keep that damn hand up. You got to keep that damn hand right there, blocking the right side of your face, like you're talking. You're talking on the phone the entire time.
That's what Rolly did.
That better be his strategy, or else he will get clipped. And it's going to be like that. It's going to be lightning quick if Mario Barrios doesn't do that.
Can he win the fight with that right hand up all the time? Like,
no.
He's got to throw that right hand at some point.
Look, you are who you are. He's coming off 2 draws for a reason because he doesn't have that extra.
He just looks slow against Pacquiao. He looks slow against Ramos. Like, I think he's a solid guy. I really do. And I give him respect for all the guys he fought between 135 and 147. But I think after this fight, if it turns out Ryan Garcia wins, we're going to be talking about the speed advantage being a difference maker in this fight because he kind of leaves those hands out there when he throws. And that's where Ryan can be the most devastating.
You hear it all the time. Speed kills in boxing. But you know what else kills fighters? Bad technique. And Ryan Garcia has both of those.
I agree. That's why I think this fight's so interesting going into it.